Hi and welcome to my wee channel, The Kilted Cyclist. Today's video is Mid Calder, a conservation village in West Lothian that's about 15 miles from Edinburgh. So when I started making up my notes for this, after researching it all on the internet, it sounded like a history lesson at school, but the boring one in the afternoon, just following double PE, and I thought, nope, can't do it. So I ripped it all up and I've started again. The Kirk of Calder dates back to 1541, but there was a church much earlier on that site, possibly from the 12th century, and it's had some famous visitors, including Frederick Chopin, the composer, Dr. David Livingstone, the explorer, James Paraffin Young, the inventor, and the great reformer John Knox. There are bullet holes in the church walls from the guns of the naughty royalists who in 1638 fired at the church in response to the Covenanters rejecting the King's Prayer Book. Thankfully, the church wasn't harmed. Part of the two war memorials mention a woman and a child that were killed by the Luftwaffe in 1940 when Howden House was bombed. Another person mentioned in connection with Mid Calder is always Lizzie Bryce, who was that famous, or is that infamous, that she had a roundabout named after her. Lizzie was born in 1776 and though she was called a witch, she was in reality just a bad-tempered old woman who would shout at the local children. Now, not everyone was lucky enough to have a roundabout named after them, and between 1643 and 1645, 7 people were dragged up the nearby Bronze Age mound called Cunningar Hill, where they were strangled and then burned at the stake. Very nasty. The reason that Mid Calder was successful is down to two things, and both of them were bridges. The stone one is over the Lynn Water and the big green one is over the Amond. Now, for centuries, drovers had moved Highland cattle to markets in West Linton and Falkirk, and this was one of the very few river crossings in the area, so it became kind of like the fourth bridge of its day. So much so that in 1840, from August to October, over 150,000 cattle came through the village. That is a lot of bull. And speaking of bull, the Black Bull Inn dates from 1747, and the now renamed Turfickin Arms dates from round about 1763, which coincided with the arrival of the Edinburgh to Glasgow Turnpike, a kind of older day M8. So in its day, West Calder was quite a busy wee place, but I'll just shut up now and let's just get on with the video. Well, that was Mid Calder. I did kind of waffle on a bit on that one, but I just found it such an interesting place, and it's just nuggets of history like this that makes the filming more enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, could you help me by subscribing to my channel? It's free. Or you could, if you're feeling generous, buy me a coffee by simply clicking the Buy Me a Coffee button on my page and, well, buy me a coffee. Thanks go out to both Dave and John who have done just that. Thanks guys. As I look at the big clock on the wall, I see that once again time is beating us, so until next time, bye for now.